Hello guys, I am Lyrica Plaza, and for today's video we're going to talk about biographical sketches of Jose Rizal, reflection number 1. It seems as though Rizal's childhood was like to that of many other youngsters, including the one I had. But not exactly. I was not constrained by my body in the same way that Rizal was. There are a lot of kids who are curious, but a lot of them, including me, aren't very good students. The childhood of social is something that the vast majority of people can empathize with on some level. During the course of our lives, each of us will, at some moment or another, have the experience of feeling like an outsider who is destined to spend the rest of their life on the margins. One way or another, we have all experienced the cold, black despair that inevitably leads to feelings as feelings of self-loathing and profound alienation from society, which in the end causes us to feel like outsiders due to who we are and what society leads us to believe about ourselves. That being said, it takes a truly remarkable individual, someone who is 10 times more inspiring than will ever be, someone with a revealed bravery, someone who is adeptly courageous enough not only to conquer the deepest depth of that oceanic solitude, but somehow transform into a sublimely magnificent and revolutionary life force to overcome obstacles that appear to be impossible to overcome. Without a shadow of a doubt, Jose Rizal exemplified this type of man. When we are young, it is natural for us to try to model our behavior after of our parents and other adults in our lives. And we will do this when we begin to internalize the lesson they teach us from a young age. It typically leads to a state of internalize the lesson they teach us from a young age. Rizal made the decision to establish his own self-actualizing environment in order to learn about freedom and independence because there was no opportunity for advancement in society. He did this as a result. He not only overcame the soul-crushing parts of living under the repressive authority of Spanish, but he also gained the appreciation for what it meant to have genuine freedom. Now let's move on to the reflection to pragmatic education. Ang buhay ni Rizal ay napakaraming material na may kahalagang pangkasaysayan at kultural. Kung ililista natin ang bawat isa sa kanila, siguradong aabutin tayo ng buong buhay para magawa ito. Pero para sa akin, ang pinaka wili-wiling bagay sa kanyang buhay na talagang nakakuha ng aking pansin ay ang oras na ginamot niya ang kanyang sarili para sa tuberculosis. Pati na rin ang oras niya na siya ay nag-aaral upang maging isang ophthalmologist. Natagpuan ko ang parehong mga panahon na ito ay napakaakit-akit. Bilang isang mag-aaral, nakikita ko ang aking sarili na nabighani sa anumang bagay at anumang bagay na konektado o may kaunting kaugnayan, kalusugan at gamot. Dahil sa kanyang malalim na pagmamahal sa kanyang ina, nagpasya siyang ituloy ang isang karera sa ophthalmology. Ang kanyang nagdurusang ina na inang bayan ay nasa ilalim ng isang pang-abuso at mapanupil na dayuhang autoridad at Sa pamamagitan ng kanyang akdang pampanitikan ay nilayo niyang buksan ang mga mata ng kanyang mga kabayan at ng mga otoridad sa Espanya. Ang katotohanan na si Rizal ay isa ring ophthalmologist ay isang bahagi ng kanyang buhay na bihirang talakayin sa anumang malalim na kalaliman sa lahat ng kaguluhang ito tungkol sa kanya. Ang mga alalahanin na tulad ng nagpraktis ba talaga si Rizal ng medisina bilang isang ophthalmologista o may ginampanan ba siyang papel sa pagkawala ng paningin ng kanyang ina bilang resulta ng kanyang mga eksperimento sa kanyang mga mata ay madalas ring itinatanong maging ng ibang mga medikal, mga professional. Ito ang kapuspalad at hindi nagbibigay ng hustisya kay Dr. Jose Rizal sa anumang paraan. Reflection number 3, Travels, Frustrations, and Disappointments. Lahat tayo ay magkaugnay sa mga pag-ibigo sa pang-araw-araw na buhay. Iyan ay totoo para sa sinuman, ngunit ito ay totoo lalo na para sa atin na gustong gumawa ng pagbabago sa mundo, ngunit nalaman na ang iba, maging ang ating mga kaibigan at kalyado, ay hindi nakikihati sa ating sigasig. Rizal was able to gain insight into several cultures and lifestyles thanks to his travels throughout Europe, Asia, and Africa. He broadened his horizon by learning about the practices and beliefs of people from different cultures. Furthermore, Rizal was able to witness the plight of common people through his travels. He observed the result of colonialism firsthand, including the devastating effects of poverty and disease. Rizal's worldview was shaped in large part by his experience, which had significant impact on his life. Rizal's travels were crucial to his maturation as a philosopher and a writer. But I think that what Rizal makes stand out the most is his obvious anger with other Filipinos who weren't as disciplined and dedicated as he was. Now let's move on to reflection number 4, an exiled life. Rizal believed first and foremost in education, both in the academic sense and in practical terms. What he wanted for the country you can see as a microcosm in his time as an exile in the Pitan, where he ran a school. He also experimented with agriculture, did biological research, and practiced as a doctor. He was greatly influenced by his travels abroad in Spain, France, Germany, UK, USA, and Japan. Rizal was a guy with numerous accomplishments, whose result serves as an inspiration for everything we do. He motivates us to be diligent, which the majority of us are not. When he was sent to the Pitan after being kicked out, Rizal lived a pretty simple life. After making a makeshift classroom, Rizal started teaching a small group of children. Because of his reputation as a healer, people went out of their way to see him. He also likes working on the land. Rizal also got close to Josephine Bracken, who he later fell in love with. Rizal lived a simple but important life in the Pitan. Lastly is reflection number 5, justice and death. For me, there's no doubt that Jose Rizal was an intellectual person because records and works that he left behind would say so. He was professionally a doctor, and he was well as a poet, novelist, painter, sculptor, was excellent chess and sports, and polyglot. He was gifted to the point that it sounds too good to be true for a Filipino of his time. Rizal's influence to us, for me, is to live at your best potential and offering the potential for the good of many. He also inspires Filipino to be brave and courageous despite your size or your color. He inspires fortunate Filipinos to use their resources wisely and not for vanity. Knowing he was from a wealthy family, overall, being called the national hero is worth it. Rizal had come a shining symbol for reforms and change. The Katipunan drew inspiration from him and formed some of foundations of its creations. It is very clear that Rizal's death drew out the nationalism, inspiration, and pride from most Filipinos. We can say we can even say that this was one of the causes of start of the revolution. The trial of Rizal is the most well-known event in Philippine history, not just because he is our national hero but also because of how he died. He didn't die to protect himself or his family. Instead, he died to protect everyone in Philippines. This trial against Rizal is actually a mistake. It was a big joke from the beginning, and it was so bad that I want to throw up because, as I already said, he died to protect us. So that could be all. And thank you for your watching.